Mexican Horchata. Basically, this is a rice-based drink that I grew up with, and it involves soaking rice. And the way we did it was soaked almonds overnight. We blended them or ground them up and produced this milky drink. And and I know more popular recipes call for milk, but this is a dairy-free version. And this is also going to be a nut-free version because the way I used to make it with almonds, I can't do that anymore. My son is allergic to nuts. So I opted for the chufa nut, which also is one of the authentic ingredients that Latin countries use. And even in Spain, their horchata uses the chufa nut. And by the way, this is actually not a nut. It's more of a root, if I believe. It's a very fibrous root. And the way this package comes, it's very dry and fibrous. So I am going to be soaking these for 48 hours. I know it's a long time to wait for horchata, but I have to do what I have to do to make this nut-free for my kiddo. And I actually don't mind because the payoff is really big with this. So I'm going to start with a third cup of my Tigernuts, and I'm going to just pour some cold water over this, and I'm going to let this soak for 48 hours. By the way, I added around 2 cups of cool water. Okay, so my chufa nuts have been soaking for just about a day and a half already. So it is the night before, and I'm going to go ahead and soak a 1/4 cup of rice. And by habit, I have this giant jar of rice that's always sitting on my counter, and it's actually medium grain rice, but you might want to use long grain rice. And now I'm just going to add around 8 ounces of water, and I'm just going to let it soak overnight. And as I was covering this and I set it aside along my tiger nuts that are soaking over there, they've been soaking for a day and a half, I realized, whoops, I need to add my cinnamon sticks. So once you soak your rice, go ahead and toss in a cinnamon stick. I'm going to go ahead and just use half of this one. Okay, so my tiger nuts have been soaking for 48 hours and my rice and cinnamon stick have been soaking for overnight. Let's just say 12 hours to be safe. And here's what the tiger nuts look like. They are still hard and fibrous at this point, but they're going to be a lot easier to put into the blender. I also wanted to show you a good indication that the rice is ready is when you are able to break it into your hand. And again, when making horchata, I wanted to show you that it's probably best to use long grain rice, but habits die hard, and I went for the giant jar of rice that I always keep on my counter, which is a Korean medium grain rice. But it still works because if I didn't have long grain rice, I would probably use this anyways. So just remember, use long grain rice if you have it. It's the better choice for horchata. Here is a closer look of what I was talking about earlier. Notice how I just press on the rice and it breaks right in the middle. That means that it's soft enough and it's ready to be blended. Okay, now I'm just going to strain all of the ingredients. Now I'm going to set up my blender and it's time to get this horchata started. To get things moving along, I'm going to add 2 cups of cold water into the blender. at this point, you would need to sieve all of the liquid to get any bits out of it, and you can use a sieve. But I am going to be using a milking bag, and I find this very convenient. It makes the horchata a lot smoother and less grainier. And all I'm going to do is just pour all of the liquid inside the bag and squeeze it out, and it's going to create a wonderful milky liquid. Okay, so now that this is all squeezed through my milking bag, I'm left with this wonderful milky liquid. And I wanted to show you what's left inside of the bag. And if you are using Tigernuts and you're going through this process, you might want to also run about 2 cups of warm water through all of this that's in the bag, and you could probably get another 2 cups of liquid. But today I'm only going to do about 1 liter of horchata, so ultimately, all in all, I'll be using 4 cups of water throughout this whole process. So now what I'm going to do is sweeten the remaining part of my water, and I'm using a turbinado sugar. Use whatever you like, granulated sugar, you could use stevia, whatever you want to sweeten it with, but I'm going to be using 1/3 cup. And again, I'm going to leave this up to your taste. If you want it sweeter, add more. If you don't want any at all, add less. But this is how I'm going to do it. So in the remaining 2 cups of water, I'm going to add 1/3 cup of sugar. The reason why I am adding it all separately from what I've milked out of the milking bag is because I want to make sure this sugar dissolves properly before I just mix it up. Now I'm just going to combine everything, and now that it's all mixed, I'm going to give this a try, and it's good. I can't wait. So I'm just going to pour this back into my 4-cup measuring cup and add it into a 2-liter pitcher. Again, this is going to yield 1 liter. So if you want to double up the recipe to have a 2-liter amount, by all means do so. I also want to mention at this point, if you want to add some evaporated milk or cold whole milk, do so, because I do sometimes like to drink it with milk. But originally, I believe horchata was made milk-free. So do what you like. If you want to add 2 cups of milk to this, go right ahead. It'll taste great. As always, the recipe will be listed in the description box below. I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching. Hey guys, you can click on the video icons for more recipes, or you can click on my picture icon to subscribe. Thanks for watching.